In the Mediterranean, we share habitats, species, culture, and a submerged treasure, the Posidonia oceanica. Posidonia is an endemic marine plant of the Mediterranean Sea, of extraordinary ecological and biological importance. In the sea, it oxygenates the water and captures more CO2 than a tropical forest. It is the main focus of marine biodiversity of the Balearic Islands and the Mediterranean Sea, as numerous species find refuge there to live and reproduce. Shells of the organisms that live on their leaves are washed up on the beaches and constitute an important part of the sun. In fact, it is considered a priority habitat according to the European Directive on the Conservation of Natural Habitats and Wild Fauna and Flora. The grasslands Posidonia forms under the water help cushion the swell, a function similar to the one they have outside the water, where they protect the coast from storms thanks to the dead leaves that reach the coast. Consequently, they prevent the regression of the dune system. But Posidonia grows very slowly, so the loss of Posidonia is irreversible on human time scales. On the other hand, the impacts it suffers can make entire beams disappear immediately.
Posidonia is one of the key species in the Mediterranean, and based on the recent updates, we know that the habitats, the population is retracting at certain regions, and we need to halt this and we need to keep the degradation and take the necessary priorities and action plans to conserve and stop the degradation further.
For all this, and as a mitigator of the effects of climate change, it is essential to conserve it in good condition. In the Balearic Islands, this plant occupies 650 square kilometers. Aware of its important extent and its role as a dominant ecosystem on the Balearic coast, in 2018, the government approved the decree on the conservation of the Posidonia oceanica and became a pioneering territory in its protection. The decree has given impetus to the creation of a monitoring and assistance serving for anchoring, as well as a map to know its distribution throughout the archipelago, the possibility of anchoring without impact through apps, among other actions. Since 2018, more than 15 boats have helped to change the habits of the nautical sector and for boats to anchor in Posidonia-free areas. Since it was launched in 2018, the Posidonia Monitoring Service has carried out a total of 611,264 actions throughout the Balearic Islands to inform, advise and check whether boats were properly anchored or not. It should be noted that year after year, awareness has grown and fewer boats have had to move. In 2019, following a meeting in Greece with different territories concerned about the protection of the marine phanerogam and the pressures it is under, the Mediterranean Posidonia Network was born. Promoted by the French Biodiversity Office, the Balearic Ministry of Environment and Territory and several NGOs, the platform aims to advance towards a common European conservation policy and to ask the European Union for its involvement in the protection of this plant. The countries that share this underwater treasure have the challenge of managing the anthropogenic activities that pose a threat to Posidonia while guaranteeing its protection, as well as the entire ecosystem associated with it. The Mediterranean Posidonia Network brings together different interest groups, such as authorities, scientists, international environmental organizations, and professionals, including nautical agents and marinas from the Mediterranean countries.
Tenemos que articular para que no haya muchas diferencias entre los países. Sería muy dramático que en un país no hubiese una normativa y que las embarcaciones fuesen a ese país porque existe una normativa laxa, y lo que no queremos es crear una diferencia entre una Posidonia y otra, sino que nos gustaría que la Posidonia se respetase en todos los países de una forma más o menos igual.
In September 2021, the network met in person for the first time in Formentera, where policies and experiences were shared in favor of its conservation and where all members agreed on the importance of establishing a roadmap for greater cooperation between countries that share the same goal.
Aujourd'hui, ce réseau est très important pour l'avenir de la Méditerranée parce qu'il nous permet déjà de partager l'information, de partager les techniques et de transférer le transfert scientifique pour mieux conserver la Posidonie. Parce que la conservation ne supporte pas une seule partie de la Méditerranée, il faut protéger toute la Méditerranée et c'est le but.
And we are really happy to be a part as we can share experience and learn and know how other countries dealing with similar pressures.
And we know that you guys are showing us the way forward, and this meeting has been very informative, and I'm taking with me some of this very useful information, and hopefully we can implement something like similar to this in our MPAs.
L'intégration de ce réseau nous a permis d'avoir une idée sur la réglementation européenne en général et par pays concernant la protection de la Posidonie. La réglementation européenne ou par pays européen est assez intéressante dans le sens où elle protège un habitat d'intérêt pour la conservation de la végétation marine.
In Greece we have a lot of recreational boats that traveling around our islands in Aegean and Ionian, and we have a lot of Posidonia meadows. It's a good opportunity to take all these ideas and implement it in Greece.
I know about Posidonia decree that Balearic Islands have. Actually, I asked the English version, so this is something that I hope that we can do similar in Croatia for our protection of Posidonia meadows.
Protecting this plant is a shared responsibility of all Mediterranean territories.